You've tuned into the REVUP podcast, broadcasting straight from Ducati Sanford in sunny central Florida. We're not just talking motorcycles, we're diving deep into the brilliant minds of business leaders, entrepreneurial pioneers, speed demons on the track, influential game changers, and downright rad people crushing this game called life. Let's rev up.
Today we're talking to Christina Coffee, a freelance videographer and editor based out of Orlando, Florida. She graduated from the University of Central Florida in 2016 with a Bachelor's of Science in Radio, Television Production, and a minor in Digital Media. She's been doing freelance videography with us for a few months now, and we're learning a bunch of stuff and learning a lot of insights with her. And she's young and hip to what's cool, and we just, we're old dogs. We need to learn new tricks, so we wanted to sit her down today and have a chat. So here we are.
Good to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So the goal with this podcast was basically me and David were talking, and there's just so many amazing people that come through this dealership day to day that we get to interact with and talk with, just very interesting people. And we're like, we got to get some of these conversations on a podcast because, we're dealing with so many different people, from customers coming in to buy, a new Ducati, to some of the representatives from the manufacturers we work with, vendors we work with, just people in general. There's just been some amazing people. So we're like, let's talk to some folks and get it on tape. So you were our first guest, and we're just super stoked because you came in to this dealership just a few months ago and just completely changed our game from a video content standpoint. And there's just a lot of other small businesses out there and other dealerships that aren't leveraging this opportunity. They just don't know where to begin, where to start, right, what to do. And you just kind of like hit a home run with it. So we think we can learn a lot from you. We want to share that. This isn't something we just want to keep to ourselves, because other businesses out there that are doing great stuff and getting good content out there, that's good for everybody. So we want to see our competition and other businesses be successful. That makes everybody more successful, and we need to get good content pushed out there. So we wanted to have a chat with you today and just ask a few questions, pick your brain, and kind of see where you're at. So David, do you have any questions to kind of lead off?
I do. So one, this is the first dealership we've ever been in, motorcycle-wise, right?
Yeah.
So what's the vibe that you've gotten since the time you walked in until now?
Gosh, it's such like a family environment here. I wasn't sure what I was going to expect initially coming in. I'm more used to the corporate space.
Yeah.
That's usually kind of my jam. But, coming in here, everybody's just fun and playful. Everybody gets along super well. The customers know you guys like they've known you their entire lives. So that was a really different aspect for me. I've never experienced that.
Yeah.
And just seeing the interaction among you guys, I see what you mean by having them all want to come onto the podcast, because so many different walks of life come through here, so many different characters. It's really cool to see the different kind of people that visit the dealership. It's not just, the typical old guy riding a Harley. There are so many different kinds of people that come here.
Yeah. No, and that's why I wanted to know, too, because one, being a woman, a female, walking into a place that is normally, male-driven, which is what I've focused on our side, and I know that they try to do it on the other side as well, is to make women feel comfortable. I don't want somebody to come in here and feel like they've been, objectified, or they're not listening to them or paying attention to them. I want them to feel like they're here because they deserve to be here. They want to be here. They want to know more information about motorcycles, and they want to be treated the way that they should be treated,
right,
not because they're a girl or whatever, you know what I mean? And focus on them and giving them a great experience. So that's why I was curious to what you felt. Unfortunately, like we were saying earlier, you've never really been into any other motorcycle dealership to see and get to feel what it is to either be ignored or to be blown off, or to them just not really listening to what your needs and wants and what your future riding is going to be like. So I know that you're not much a rider, but you're still, a person that comes in and sees and interacts with us. And that's why I was curious.
Yeah, no, and I've seen so many women actually come into the dealership and just like the men, See, we're in the dealership right now, as you can hear. Just like the men, you know, the employees that work here address them equally. Like, everybody is treated equally here. I've seen that very much so. And like, there's a lot of women that come in here, and I was honestly pretty surprised by that. Like, I didn't know how many like women writers there are, and like, you guys have really highlighted that a lot. Even on your socials prior to me coming, I noticed like there were a lot of women. Like, and in the club that you guys have, there's a lot of women in that club as well.
We actually had the first female president that we knew of, and unfortunately her work got too involved and she wasn't able to stay with it, but she really did help us grow it and get to a part where we needed to, and she helped helped us out amazingly. Her name was Maria Cotton, and she's still very much a part of it. She's really actually doing more of the race side now too. So
you know, being fresh to this and coming in here, obviously we're looking for opportunities to be better with the social media content, the videos we're putting out there, and we weren't really doing that much before, but we just wanted to elevate it. So when you came in here, what was your first kind of like plan of attack? Like, did you kind of like look through our stuff and kind of assess where we were, and did you see opportunities for us where we could elevate?
Yeah, so like I definitely did lurk through your socials and see like what you had been doing, what you put out there so far. I definitely got a feel for the team that way. I saw that Ducati Dave was like the big thing and that it was doing pretty well. So I really wanted to focus on that like when I first came in. So that's when we started doing, you know, like the Ask Ducati Daves, where we would go and like highlight some of the bikes that you had around the shop. So we started with that. And from there, we not only did the Ducati Daves, I noticed like some other trending things that were happening on TikTok, you know, some trending sounds, some cute, funny, kind of silly things we could do. Because you guys aren't like the typical dealership where it's all business and like you don't want to be fun. Like, no, you guys like want to be fun and make the audience smile and have a good time along with you, get to know you guys. So I was able to like take some of the trends you'd see with like, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. I think it's Tony Robbins. He's a comedian and he was all over TikTok. We were able to do like funny videos like that and all kinds of like trending sounds and work together to make like more popular videos rather than just like what I would call a oh my god,
generic.
Yeah. It's not just like here's a bike I'm selling you. Like we could make these fun and playful, you know.
And go ahead. Yeah, it was cool. Like we did one video and I was like, well, what are we gonna do with background music? And they were like, oh, well, that's easy. We need to go through
trending sounds
and look through trending sounds.
Yeah.
And you were able to go through and find one that was like popping off. And when you did that video, it was like it took off. It had more legs on it. And to me, it was like that video, that song and that video, I was really surprised by that. Then as I'm scrolling through weeks later, it's like all I'm hearing is that song. I'm like, we were doing that song like 2 weeks ago. And now it's like just like everywhere. So, you know, paying attention to those little things, what song you're playing in the background, what little things you can add to kind
like
of
the little memes here and there you can throw in that makes people stop and be like, oh my God, like I know this trend. Like, let me watch this video and see what they're going to do in it. Their different spin on it, you know?
Right. So like I've noticed a lot of our content has been kind of moving towards like that fun, kind of quirky stuff. So I mean, does that stuff really work though? I mean, at the end of the day, we are a business. We're trying to drive door swings. We're trying to get more phone calls, leads, so we can sell more vehicles and you know, make money.
Right.
But is that stuff really effective on really getting people into the store?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like one of the things that I've learned over time through doing this and working with a ton of different companies is it's really about building a brand, you know, building a brand that people resonate with and that they know. So you don't have to be so salesy, like, here's this bike and I'm going to sell it to you on this video. People don't want to stop and watch that. People don't care to get to know you that way. And also, your audience might think that when they come into the dealership, that's what they're going to be faced with. So by showing who you are, showing who your team is, making the customers that are viewing these videos feel like, these guys are cool, I want to talk to them more, that then drives more traffic, not only through, you know, social, but to actually come through the front door.
Gotcha. Another question I wanted to ask. It's common talk in our industry that we lag behind some of the other industries, such as automotive, some of the outdoor recreational companies out there. It's like we're just like 10 years behind in how we do things, how we market, how we operate, etc. So I'm just curious, do you feel that, like, when you looked at our stuff or the content we're putting out there, are we catching up to those types of industries, or are we still kind of behind, in your opinion?
I wouldn't necessarily say that you guys were behind. I think maybe you just weren't posting quite enough. It's like you have to be so consistent with your posts. They need to be at least twice a day on all your different platforms. And, prior to me coming to work with you guys, like, you just were able to even get enough content to get out there. It's so much harder than people think to, like, shoot and edit and come up with an idea, all of that. So I don't think you were behind. I think you just need it more,
Now, would you recommend, other dealerships out there that maybe they're in more rural markets, or they're not close to a city where there's like all these young people coming out of college that have experience in videography and editing? How do they do it? Like from a more basic level, maybe just to get started and make it simple so they can be, more productive and get more content pushed out there.
So you don't necessarily have to have a fancy camera, to go and get these awesome clips like we do here. For somebody that's in a smaller market that can't necessarily work with like a professional camera or a videographer, use your cell phone. You can edit everything straight in TikTok. You can edit it in CapCut, which is also free. Again, it's not always about the quality of the video. It's about how consistent you are with getting the content out there. Having the quality definitely makes your business look more legit, but if all you have is your iPhone, you got a 12 or above, like, you've got a pretty solid camera on there. You can get some really crazy nice videos on that thing. Put it on cinematic mode and boom, like, a lot of people on social aren't going to know the difference. We're actually shooting this camera right here on cinematic mode. So case in point.
That's awesome. So back to that. So we started doing a little bit of the Ask Ducati Dave, and we kind of veered off a little bit because we were doing some of the parody stuff and having fun. And when you said that, it kind of hit me. I was like, you know what? The Ask Ducati Dave stuff was kind of cool, but it was kind of going over bikes and kind of the generic little thing. What would you suggest, like, to us and to them out there? Like, what would make it where we can still give the information on the motorcycle? Because those questions that we did with you are valid questions that we get every day. What's the difference between a V4 and a V4S? What's the difference between this? What's the difference? And I love doing that. But at the same time, I just didn't want that generic
kind of salesy.
Feeling. Yeah, because I noticed that the ones we did, they would grow legs a little bit, but they would never really kind of do like, my balls are hot.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at 103K, and what did we do that 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, explain maybe what we did there.
Oh, well, for some of you guys that haven't seen it, go check it out. We're in Florida. It's 1,000,000 degrees here, right? And there's not a lot of wind. The motorcycles that we sell, and every motorcycle, I don't care what anybody says, is hot, okay? So we have some interesting character customers that we have, and this is why we're starting this. And they always have funny questions, and they always, bust our balls. And that's what I love, the fact that they can come in and say things like that. So we have a good customer of ours that we've been working with for 3 years now, and he's bought a few bikes from us. And I say a few, kidding. And he, a lot. And he's not the average rider. So he is a guy that loves his bikes. He likes to ride. He likes to go to the gym. He likes to go ride around a little bit. He's not the road racer. He's not the street guy. He's not the guy that is out there, he wears his gear. He wears all his stuff, but the bike's very hot. Okay, so he comes in one day, and as we started the Ask Ducati Dave, comes in just randomly and says, hey, Ducati Dave, can I ask you a question? Why are my balls so hot? And we died laughing. And that's how this video got going. And we hit 100K in like 3 weeks, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So I want to do, and what I'm saying too, we'll go back to that, is I still want to do the Ask Ducati Dave stuff, but I don't want it to be generic. I don't want people to get bored with it.
Right.
I want it to grow legs. I want other people to see it. But I also wanted to help other Ducati dealerships or other places that, I hate to say they don't have maybe the staff or maybe the knowledge that, some of the dealerships like we have, you know, we really do. And I focus on my guys learning every bit about the bikes. And sometimes they don't have that, you know, ability to do that. So it's why I like doing that too, because they can see that video and go, oh, shoot, I didn't know that about that bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it happens because we talk to people.
Yeah.
So I want to know what I can do to be better at that. I mean, you make me look like a rock star. Don't get me wrong. You make him look like a rock star. You make my guys look like a rock star. And we appreciate that. But what would you think that we could do to make it better?
To get the information out there while still having fun. I mean, something that I've tried with some other companies that we do when we want to like really get some information across, but then also still have fun with it is the trend that like a trend that's popular right now. We'll try to find something like that, attach it to the front of the video, and then somehow spin it in to the information bit, you know? So that's usually what we'll do. Like,
I want to start trends too. I don't want to follow.
No, for
You know what
sure,
I mean? I
for
wanna
sure.
Start some trends to make people realize that we are, you know, there's a reason why
Cutting
we are
edge.
the,
Yeah.
you know, the number one Ducati dealership in North and South America.
Yeah.
Sorry, had to throw that in there.
Let them know. Let them know.
So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And I know that you have such a good eye at getting us to come out of our comfort zone. We're here.
There they go.
You get me out of my comfort zone when it comes in front of a camera. I'm not very good. You got him when we did the video for the...
for the awards.
For the awards.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit, but you have a way about bringing us out and making us have fun. I've seen so many people, Pete, for example.
And Pete crushes.
And
he does so
crushes it. He
good.
does. So we appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
I do. I want to do more stuff about that. You know?
So I'm going to read this question because I think it's an important one and it's long. I just want to make sure I get it right. But, you know, how do we leverage social media platforms to engage with the motorcycle community, and what role do you see the content kind of helping us to not just promote the products, but, you know, build a community around the dealership?
Again, it's really about building that brand, you know, continuing to show who you guys are, what you do here, how you have fun here, and treat your customers like friends, not just somebody you're selling a bike to.
It's not even friends. It's family.
It's family, 100%. Yeah. Continuing to do exactly what you're doing, just keep pumping out more of it, you know, as much as you can put out there. It's really about building that brand, truthfully. That's the biggest thing. You know, all the other companies that I've worked with in the past, we sold the products we sold because they had built a brand on social media. That's really what it was. We sold keto products from just building a brand. They liked the person that was selling it, so people bought the product.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed when I'm scrolling on social media or like Instagram, I see our customers and like our Ducati club posting just as much content as we are. And it's based around them riding and the club and their interactions with us. So it's almost like we have a fan base that is just like organically sharing and growing, like based off experiences they're having with us.
Yeah.
So we're not having to put any effort there. They're doing it for us.
Yep. It's
And
UGC basically.
and we appreciate it, and we share. I mean, we share
Yeah.
when they're posting stuff. We're sharing what they're putting out there.
You grow together.
And when they're in the dealership, we're thanking them and just kind of like working with them in a positive way. And through that, I think it's helped build a really strong community.
100%. I see it every time I come through here. There's somebody new that's just, you know, you guys' best friend every single time I visit, you know. They're family. These aren't just random people, and you make new friends every single day.
My favorite right now, and since we've started doing it, and Nate letting me, and I always go back to that, letting me be me, and letting me brand and build this side as not the normal dealership,
Right.
as a family, build all this. They come on Saturdays just to come say hi.
100%.
And it's not even just Saturdays, because everybody has different days off. They come in during the week, hey, I was out riding, or I was even driving by, and I thought, oh man, I want to stop by and say hi to you guys. And that to me, like you said, we're here to make money. We're here to, you know, sell motorcycles, get more people on the road. But the ones that we have, they talk so highly of us to other people that we haven't met yet.
Right.
But they always come by. I love on Saturdays, you know, when we have MotoGP and they started doing the sprint races. That's been the best part, because everybody wants to come by and watch the sprint race with us because we're excited about it.
Right.
You know, and sure, we got to open the doors and start selling motorcycles, right? But to be honest, when they're all sitting here and they're all watching and they start looking around, oh man, you know what? I want a new bike. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's what I've
Exactly.
been working. My goal has been from day one is to build a family that wants to be here, that wants to grow with us, and wants to be a part of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see that. I see that with the people who come through here and people that other clients I've even gotten through here. They talk so highly of you guys, like literally all of them. They love you guys.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons we even got connected with you was through my gym, CrossFit Exalted.
Yep.
And they were putting out some content that I was like, this stuff is cool. And they're like, oh, we got to introduce you to Christina. She's like super rad. She would love to come work with you. So that's how this all kind of came together. But it's just like connecting with other businesses in the community
Yeah.
in a positive way. You know, opportunities open when you do that. You
Yep.
know, so
Everybody grows.
yeah, I mean, like I was at the bank doing a deposit, and I seen they had a box of school supplies, and it was kind of piddly looking, and I was like, oh, you guys are doing a school supply drive, and they're like, yeah, we're really trying to help out this middle school. They're struggling, they need help, and I was like, okay, I got to buy some stuff for these guys to help them out. Well, when I got back to the dealership, I really started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, how can we kind of like collaborate with them to just like blow it up and make it like big? Like, so I called over there like, yeah, we'd love to work with you. And we talked to the school, and the school was like, absolutely. So we took the little bit that they had going, and we just took it to a whole new level. And we're talking like thousands of dollars of stuff.
That's awesome.
And premium stuff, because that was very specific. I was like, don't buy cheap stuff, guys. Like, buy nice stuff. Like, buy a nice backpack. Buy the good pencils. Like,
They're our
buy,
future.
like,
We'll
yeah.
do
So,
something
like,
that's not
you don't want to
100%.
send some, underprivileged kid off to school, and he's got like crappy like pencils. I mean, that
Eraser that
breaking-
smudges.
It's yeah. So buy nice stuff. So we've got some really nice stuff, and that was through just collaborating with another business.
Yeah.
We're working with 73 Moto, which is a new venue that's opening up in downtown Sanford, and they're like a moto.
All and kind of, it's going to be really a cool spot. They basically, because we lost Ace Cafe.
Yeah.
Ace Cafe is gone?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. So they got bought out by some big developer, and they're going to build a big building down there. So they just
What?
they didn't go out of business because they were not doing
They
well.
sold.
They just sold to this developer that offered them crazy money. But
For that area.
so this new guy decided to open up his version of Ace Cafe, Sean, 73 Moto, and we're collabing with them on like all kinds of like bike nights, meetups, rides. We're throwing a little party for our Ducati award down there. Like we're doing all kinds of stuff with them. But my point being is that, you know, there's opportunities when you collaborate with others, other
100%.
businesses, and you need to get out there in your community and
Network
network and because just doors open left and right.
Yep.
It's crazy. Like
A
we did
million percent.
We did the cars, coffee, and bikes at the gym with those guys.
Yeah, that's right.
And next thing you know, those guys are buying bikes from us, and they're coming out, hanging out. You know, we got connected with her. I mean, it's just
Real Street as well.
oh,
That's
real
across the street.
We connected with. Those guys are big players in the automotive
Cars
space.
and a little bit of everything, and they want us to be a part with them because cars, other types of stuff that they do, which is firearms, stuff like that. They all kind of go hand in hand with motorcycles. 98% of the people that we ride with all are into cars, different types of things. So we found them. They actually found us, and we got to meet them. And I've done a couple little events with them. Nothing big because they're still growing. Same with 73 Moto. We are like small promoting because they're not ready. As they get ready, it's gonna be
Blow
the
it
place to
up.
be
Yeah.
every Thursday night because Sanford. And it's funny because we talk about this from time to time. Going back to we winning the #1 dealership in this. When I went to Italy last year and I talked to people and they were like, "Man, you're cool. Where are you from?" And I go, "Oh, I'm in Ducati Sanford." And they're like, and it was almost like, "Where's Sanford?" You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Well, do you know where Disney World is?" Well, yeah, we know where. We're about 45 minutes north of that, right? So a lot of people don't realize that Sanford is and will be and becoming the mecca of the Central Florida motorcycle scene. Because we have 2 other dealerships, another apparel place. Now we have 73 Moto. We have Sky Power Sports, which is the biggest one out of all of them, with Ducati Sanford. And we're growing enough to where apparently we got voted top 3 company or in business in Sanford. And we get
Wow.
we get an email saying, hey, by the way, you were nominated.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nominated. So we didn't even know about this. We ended up going to the the gala, and we had a blast. We saw a lot of people.
I saw those pictures on your Instagram. Okay, yeah.
So as we're growing, they're getting to know us. We didn't even know we got nominated. So, and we want to, help them grow. We want to help the magazine grow. We want to help, the other restaurants and stuff. I think one of the biggest things is becoming a fabric of Sanford. There's so many people talk about the fabric.
You're going to tell them who we were nominated with.
Oh, okay. So funny story.
We got third place.
Yes, we got second place.
Okay.
We got second place. So, because I have the paper, it shows it. All right. So they had different categories. One was an automotive, which they didn't put us in. They put us in with retail large department stores. Oh. And it was Target, Ducati Sanford, and Dillard's.
What?
And wait, we got beat by Dillard's.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I don't even think Dillard's is still open.
I know, the Dillard's in the Sanford Mall is like, what
That's
even
what
is
it
that?
It is. It was that Dillard's beat us.
What?
But I will be honest. I think they might have fudged their votes a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. But the fact
We would have done the
was,
same thing if we didn't know about it. I mean, come on.
yeah, we would have probably not really. No, we would have. But that's the funny thing is that we got beat by Dillard's, but then we win the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we win
right.
North and South America, so it's kind of a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
We had this really funny thing about how we got beat by Dillard's. But we won, North. And South America.
That's our next TikTok.
How we got beat by
Oh my
Dillard's?
God, yeah, we got to go to Dillard's. Sure. We got to go to Dillard's.
Into
and we walk
Dillard's.
into Dillard's.
With the helmet, though.
Oh my God, we got to do this. We're going to walk in. We're going to do the Dillard's, and we're going to get them to tell us to get out or something, right? We got to get them to tell us get out, and then we leave with our heads down, right?
In a beautiful new Dillard's dress.
Yeah, we will.
We will do that. We will do that. And that's how this becomes.
Yeah.
When we figure out our videos, it's because we're kind of kidding
the
around.
ones that we just kind of kid around on and
They've been the best.
They blow
they're
up.
The best. Those are the
Yeah,
ones. So,
100%.
So
Yeah,
another store or business, get around with your people, your staff, and chop it up with them and get ideas. And through talking, eventually you might come up with a goofy idea that seems
100%.
unrealistic,
Goes viral.
and boom, you'd actually get it on camera, and boom, it works. So
Exactly.
That's the type of collaboration that just works on every level.
And I like the way you were talking at the beginning, how does somebody that doesn't have a Christina, how would they do that, and start playing with that? And I know we have a lot of older customers that don't even have smartphones and stuff like that, and they find out about our videos, which is really cool. But don't be afraid to reach out to people that are already doing it and ask questions. I think Nate and I are probably one of the most accessible people when it comes to asking questions. I try to keep a lot of people off of him so I take a lot of funny questions and, hey, can you ask? But he will sit down and say, to help you better yourself. That's not something, any dealership I've ever worked at will ever do. They're only there for themselves.
Exactly. It's usually just to sell,
Correct.
not build this relationship.
And that's what I was building towards. Being a fabric of a city is huge.
Yeah.
Right? It's not something to take light of because you built a dealership in a place that was really not well known.
Yeah, I
right?
remember when I was little, Sanford was just it was not much of anything.
I sneezed and passed through it, right? We were going to Daytona, and I was like, wait, was that Sanford?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But you don't realize that you putting this store here has now made Sanford a name, right? And it's grown, but you are a fabric of Sanford.
Thank you, but this is about Christina.
I know, but I'm thinking about, because you
Hey,
did
well,
that.
I wouldn't be here if you guys weren't
she's our
here.
guest.
But we're talking about, dealing with other companies, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Is finding the other fabrics of Sanford that are a big deal.
Yeah.
The district where we ate, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with this. You're a fabric, you become a fabric, and you're making this bigger and making Sanford a name, right? And having the other companies and stuff like that work together and build those collaborations is what I was going with. But yes, it's all about her making us a rock star.
Yeah. So how do you recommend other people do that? I mean,
Becoming fabrics?
what can you do within your community?
Yeah, what do you do?
and to where it's put out there and used as content also to, get.
I hate to say it, but if they're really trying to blow up, they're probably going to need to hire Christina.
Yeah.
Not necessarily me, because I'm quite busy, but
They would have her. Sorry.
So okay. For years, we tried to do our own content, and we did okay. We probably did much better than the competitors and other dealerships in
your space.
In our space.
Yeah.
But what we had to do was, because I wanted to elevate things, and I seen your content, I was like, you know what? It's going to cost me more money. I got to spend more. But if we want to elevate and put out a quality product and really kind of transcend, we need to hire a professional.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and looked at our, marketing budget and what we could afford, what we could do. And through talking to you, I was like, I think we can do this. And, let's at least try it for a few months and see if it pays off. With, what's the real ROI? It's hard to really tell, but at the end of the day, we could afford to do it. And, we just did it. So luckily we're able to find you. But other dealerships, where can they go to try to find a videographer?
So that actually is a really good question, because I won't lie, finding solid freelancers is a hard job. A lot of people will tell you that they're a freelancer and have no idea what they're doing.
They're doing it on their own.
I have worked with way too many of those types of people who make my life just so difficult. Places they could visit, Upwork is somewhere people could go. I wouldn't recommend Fiverr. These are all websites you could visit that has these services available. Yeah. I would say Upwork would be a good spot. And then honestly, asking people asking around. If you see another business that's putting out some solid content, I'd ask, who's your videographer? Reach out to them, see if they've got availability. They might not have availability, but they've got people they trust that they could send your way. Like, I've got my little list of 3 freelancers that I know, hey, if I can't pick up that gig, I'm going to send David over there. David's fantastic. He'll get the job done. So, I honestly, that would be my first step. Look at other businesses that are near you, see their content. If you like it, reach out, ask, hey, who's your shooter? Reach out to the shooter, and if not, they'll put you in the right direction with people. Yeah. If that's not an option for you, Upwork. I would go to Upwork.
Okay. So kind of wrapping things up, we're in Q4, rolling into 2024. We're always kind of, we're forward thinking in the store, and we are already planning what we're going to do for 2024, how we're going to just kind of hit. We have a ton of momentum right now. How can we roll into the new year and just with full gas? So what do you recommend dealerships or businesses, how do they get prepared for their marketing, for doing videos as they roll into, 2024? Is there anything you're seeing out there, new trends, new hot things?
The trends really happen so quickly. They could be day by day. That's how fast some of these trends roll through. I would really just sit down and scroll through TikTok. Scroll through Instagram, see what's popping off. See, okay, I've heard this audio now 7 different times. It's a week by week sort of thing you've got to keep an eye on. It's a lot of times these trends don't last more than a week, 2 weeks at the most, so.
The world has changed.
Yeah, 100%. People got the attention span of a goldfish. So
It's true.
Keep paying attention. These videos keep getting shorter and shorter. We went from people being able to watch 2-hour-long YouTube videos to now 15 seconds on TikTok could be too long sometimes, So, one thing you can always bet on, though, when it comes to holidays that are coming around, like Halloween, for example, we're going to shoot some Halloween videos because that's going to be trending right now. People are going to see a pumpkin or a skeleton and be like, oh my God, I love Halloween. So for New Year's, start to plan some New Year's content ahead of time. That way you can bank on that, have things scheduled out a week or 2 in advance. People will pay attention. It's New Year's. They're excited for the New Year. So, going forward into the year, again, pay attention to the trends. It's a week by week kind of situation.
That's right.
Gotcha. Do you got anything else for Christina?
Yeah. One thing I was going to ask, so when like people are calling or trying to get somebody to help them out, are you more open to, and do you suggest them, the videographers and stuff, being open to listening to the client and actually, kind of adapting to it? Because I notice a lot of times when I've worked with other people, they're like, well, it needs to be this way.
So I don't want to be that videographer, but a lot of them are very much like, this is my art and it needs to be this way because it's my art. A lot of videographers also are not in the marketing space or in the social media space. If you notice, like a lot of us still love to shoot horizontally. Personally, I hate shooting vertically, but that is what the market is now. And a lot of them don't want to adapt to that. So when you are looking for a videographer, you really need to pay attention. Do they have a marketing background? Are they on social? Are they working through social media and seeing the trends? Are they open to it? Because also, like, they can't come into your dealership knowing nothing about bikes and think, well, I'm going to create this beautiful montage and it's going to do, it's not going to do amazing. People don't care. They want the fun, playful stuff.
Yes.
They want to learn about the bikes because your clientele are not other videographers.
Right.
They're writers.
Right.
They want to learn about these bikes. So when you're looking for a shooter, you need to really try to work with them and open their minds to not just being an artist. They need to be a marketer.
Right.
You know?
No, I appreciate that because I do feel like they have this whole artsy thing, and I'm not knocking anybody about it, but people that I've talked to, they're like, oh, but I want to do it this way, and I want to do, and then I'm like, well, we just want to do something simple and fast and fun, but we do also want your idea because you're the one that
100%.
makes us look like a rock star.
We're here to direct you guys to make your content look good, but we need to have you there to tell us what's important about your content.
Right.
So,
and you have been amazing. We're so happy to have you. You know what I mean? Like, you really have upped our game, and I hope that for 2024 it gets even better and better and
100%.
better. But I think without you, we definitely couldn't be where we're at.
oh, thank you.
So thank you.
Well, I've learned so much about bikes, so it's been great.
Yeah, you ready to get your first bike or what?
Right?
I got to get my license.
So if you could have any bike in here, what would you?
Scrambler. I've always loved the Scrambler.
cool.
I love yellow. It's my favorite color. So I'm like, ooh, that yellow Scrambler is so cute. I like that.
Nice.
Or a gas. Those are actually pretty cool too. I'm not going to lie.
All right.
We'll
Nice.
pay for your license. How about that?
We'll see.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
We're
you.
good. That was cool.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Live up.
I'm with it.